The following is meant for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not meant to establish a doctor-patient relationship. Please consult your mental health provider for your mental health needs. Hello, welcome to Chez Eric, where we talk about psychiatry and religion with a focus on how to apply it to your life. My name is Dr. Eric, and I'm super excited about William James's series, The Varieties of Religious Experience. Here's the mouthful, lectures 16 and 17 on mysticism. And last time we talked about, I forgot what we talked about. We talked about mysticism being difficult to describe. I dropped a bunch of papers. And that you need to have a greater truth, and that we really needed to talk about its relationship to biology in order to understand what is an imagined experience versus a mystical experience. So in this particular dynamic, James wants to talk about critics who say the mystical experience is just biological. Obviously, you can get it through a bunch of drugs or whatever. It's not that real. To the medical mind, that's what he quote. The medical mind, the mystical experiences are just hypnoid states based on superstition and biological foundation. You don't need to worry about it. And James says, yeah, there are pathological conditions that exist, right, where people can have these mystical experiences, okay? However, he goes back to the issue that it doesn't tell us about the value of these experiences, right? Talking about spiritual judgments in these states, we need to go beyond just the medical and the biological aspects of it. Just because something is biological doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. A wonderful example by someone who commented, I love the comment, it's about love, right? Love exists, there's a biology to it. Just because there's a biology to it doesn't mean that love doesn't exist. We need to go beyond and understand the biology of it to understand love as it's meaningful to us, its significance to us. So thank you very much for that comment. So the fruits of the mystical experiences are varied, right? Being unable to think properly or feel properly is, one of the consequences of mystical experiences. And the problem, the challenge is that the otherworldliness of what you have with the mystical experience can create an over abstraction to practical life that nothing makes sense. It's a bit like saying, he gives this example, we're on this earth, right? We are one with this earth, and therefore I can eat dirt, okay? So when you get too abstract into this weird space, then you begin to not be very helpful. Some people might be susceptible to charismatic ways of understanding the mystical experience when they are what he calls naturally passive and intellectually feeble, right? But in strong minds and characters that have a lot of discipline, we find opposite results. He refers to the Spanish mystics who have an indomitable spirit and energy, and they had a lot of for the trances that they had. And he goes through examples of St. Ignatius and St. John of the Cross and St. Teresa, and he has examples where, if you have a mystical experience but you have a very strong mind, you can really understand and experience great revelations that's beyond this world. And so the mystical condition becomes, in terms of its fruits, a source of energy for the soul, and like inspiration, right? And it's good as long as the inspiration is a true inspiration, but if the inspiration is erroneous, if it's wrong, then we have a problem. Something happens in the mystical states, James says. We go from ordinary consciousness to something else, from a less to a more, from a smallness, or just think about ourselves, to something vast, right? From unrest to rest, okay? And we find that this is reconciling and it's unifying with a greater power. And that we switch from a no function to a yes one, where we're more apt to say yes to things instead of just saying no to things. Overcoming the barriers to achieve this oneness with God is a great achievement, right? It's a great achievement of the mystical state. And when we become one with this absolute power, right? It's really great, and this achievement actually is common across the board, and it's not different in different cultures or different religions. Right? And again, this recurring theme of the mystical state is that you are one with God. However, to what extent can we trust this mystical state? To what extent can this mystical state be authoritative to not only yourself, but also to other people? And that's the critical component that William James wants to talk about. And we'll talk about that next time, concluding lectures 16 and 17 on the mystical state. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll talk to you later. Oh, I did that too fast. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. Bye. Hey, sign up for my weekly newsletter. I send out emails every week on psychiatry and religion. I realize that email is a great way to go deep into these topics. So if you want more content, check out chesericpurl.com and subscribe over there. Thanks.